J.D. Vance was in Georgia today, gave a speech about the reconciliation bill. Here is a bit of that. Number 20, please.
Law means for you is that your take-home pay is going to go up over $10,000 over the next few years. What that means is that if you're working an hour of overtime, the federal government is going to keep its money the hell out of your pocket. Because if you're working hard, the government ought to leave you alone. Ain't that the truth? To any single moms out there, any single dads, any people who work hard every single day. I had a single mom, and for a time my mom worked at a restaurant. She waited tables, like a lot of folks out there. And you know what we did in this new law? We said that if you're working hard and you're making your income via tips, we are not going to tax tips anymore because we want to give everybody out there that's working hard for those tips a little bit of relief. And that's what the Working Families Tax Cut did. No matter where you are in this country, if you're working hard and play by the rules, you ought to have a government that stands up for you instead of fights against you. That's why we increased the child tax credit in the Working Families Tax Cut. That's why we eliminated taxes on overtime and on tips. And that's why we had the biggest tax cut for families that this country has ever seen, because we believe that you ought to keep more of your hard-earned money, and we believe that if you're busting your rear end every single day, the government ought to make it easier for you and not harder for you, and that's why we fought for that legislation.
Aaron, that's good. That's enough. Aaron, have you ever covered a presidential candidate of either party campaigning in Georgia? You ever done that?
Not on the ground in Georgia.
Okay, I'll tell you two things they'll do every time. They'll drop every G, even if they're not Southern, and they'll never say the word you. They'll always say yeah. I mean, that guy, I've never heard, I don't know, Yale, if you put yeah in your term paper, do you think the professor corrects it? Rob, as you know, probably I'm a big believer that this guy's on a glide path to nomination. How would you rank him based on that clip as a seller of the Republican record for the midterms?
That was pretty good. I mean, I think those are the highlights of what Republicans have to do to define the big, beautiful bill as something that was beneficial. I'm skeptical that the bill matters at all in the midterms, one way or the other, including on even the Medicaid cuts. But they have to get out and define it. That's what VPs are for. He's touring the country doing standard issue VP duty, extolling the accolade, extolling the virtues of their bill.
Do you think that the midterms will be about the economy?
Yeah.
So it matters in the sense that how it impacts the economy, right?
Yeah, if it does.
Yeah.
I think tariffs are going to impact the economy.
Yeah. Aaron, what would you say young Democrats would find most appealing about J.D. Vance?
About J.D. Vance?
Yeah, if anything.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know that there's much. I mean, he comes off as very kind of robotic in a lot of ways, even in that clip.
Yeah. And are you following the Georgia Senate race at all?
Yeah.
Yeah, three-way Democratic primary or Republican primary, including Coach Dooley. John Ossoff is more liberal than typically the kind of person who gets elected in Georgia. How do you like his chances for being reelected?
I mean, listen, I personally think Ossoff has a tougher chance of winning than someone like Roy Cooper in North Carolina.
Even though he's an incumbent.
Yeah, I do. I mean, because Roy Cooper's incumbency is a little different. I mean, he served for 8 years as a governor, and I think governors have a better shot at winning. I think it ultimately, Ossoff's chances come down to who the nominee is on the other side. If it's Mike Collins, I think Ossoff glides to the victory. But if it's someone kind of more normal, well, it'll be a little harder.
Okay. Want more great clips like that? I've got an idea. Hit the subscribe button, be part of the Two-Way community, never miss a clip. And you can always watch our full episodes, join them live, go to twoway.tv.